I will be using Sublime TextD, or you can also use a Visual Studio Code editor. Either one is fine. Sublime Text is also very fast and very well supported. Structure of an HTML tag. It is important to understand what HTML tag consists of and how to syntactically code up an HTML tag. Usually, HTML tag have an opening tag and a closing tag, and they are surrounded by some content. The P stands for paragraph, and the content between the opening tag and the closing tag should be treated as a paragraph. P itself is called an element, and together with angle brackets, it's called a tag. Most HTML tags have a closing tag that matches its opening tag, but not all. If you observe these two tags, they only have an opening tag, they don't have a closing tag at all. Now, every HTML element can have predefined attributes. So, we will learn some of the most common ones. Attributes are the kind of name value pairs. It is used to amplify a tag. If the ID attribute is assigned, then the value of the attribute has to be unique within the scope of the entire HTML document. If there is another element with the same value for the ID, that means that the web page contains invalid HTML, which also break the functionality of the page. So ID is unique in a page and can only apply at most one time, while a class selector can apply to multiple items. No space is allowed to exist between the opening bracket and the tag name. Likewise, spaces are not allowed between the opening bracket and the forward slash of the closing tag. However, you must have at least one space between the tag itself and the name of the attribute. So if you have any extra spaces after the P element in the opening tag, or if you have any extra spaces between the equal signs of the attribute name, attribute value, or if you have any other spaces, all of them completely ignored by the browser. Attributes can be specified on the opening tag, so you can't specify an attribute on the closing tag. You can specify the value of the attribute in either single or double quotes. What if what if the value of the attribute itself contains quotes? So the actual value is quoted as a part of its value. In this type of situation, you make sure to close the quote in the opposite order of the opening them. MDN element reference. It is basically a web page that lists all the elements in HTML. There are around more than 100 tags, probably 10 to 15 that we use all the time. This link is in the description, or you can also get it by googling it. We will check for now H1 tag. If you observe, H1 is the most important heading of your web page, and down to H6. H6 is the least important heading.